So now in this lab you have an three part A, part B and a part C. Okay, ಎಷ್ಟು part ಇದಾವು? 3 parts. Okay, so in part A, so you are going to study orthographic projections, and sections of solids, and fasteners. Okay, in part A, major chapters are orthographic projections, sections of solids and fasteners. So in part B, okay, so you have a riveted joint, some joints, that is what knuckle joint, okay, and couplings okay. And in part C, so you need to go for assembly and assembly drawing. Okay, part 2B ಅಲ್ಲಿ riveted joints, knuckle joint ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, so now part A carries 20 marks. Okay, so part B, it is also 20 marks, and part C, it is going to carry 60 marks. Part A 20, part B 20, part C 60 marks. Okay, so now CIE, you have total 50 marks here, total 50 marks. Out of this 50 marks, again you are going to get a split, so 30 marks and 20 marks. Okay, so 30 marks for your cumulative work, okay, that is what attending the classes and submitting the printouts. Cumulative marks is 30 and 20 marks is for again final CIE. Again it is final CIE. Okay, so SWE, it is 50 marks. Okay, SWE 50 marks. So now up to riveted joints, fasteners, sections of solids and orthographic projections, you need to carry out all these drawing sheets in drafting mode or in drawing mode. Drafting mode or in drawing mode. Okay, so from joints onwards, you need to go for modeling of parts and assembly, and converting this assembly into assembly drawing. So you need to follow 3 steps for joint onwards. What is the first step? First step, you need to model entire parts, how many parts it has in a component. Next you need to assemble it. Okay, once assembly is done, then you need to convert that assembly into drawing. Clear? So now coming to the chapter sections of solids. I hope orthographic projection is completed in theory class. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದಾವೆ ಥಿಯರಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸು? 4 ಆಗಿದಾವ? Okay. So now we'll go for sections of solids. So what do you mean by solid? What is solid? Solid ಅನ್ನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? Atoms are closely packed. Okay. Next. You just define based on the part, not based on the material. ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅದ ಈಗ, ಹೌದಾ? ಪಾರ್ಟನ್ನು ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? So whether this is solid or it is a plane? Solid. It has how many dimensions? 3 dimensions. So what are those? What are those dimensions? Length, breadth and thickness. Okay. A solid is in what? It is having length, breadth and thickness bounded by surface. Bounded by surface. Mainly you are going to get 2 type of solids based on their surface structure. Okay? So sometimes solids may be combination of flat surface, maybe curved surface, or maybe combination of both. Maybe combination of both. Mainly we are going to classify solids as 2 types. One is polyhedron, another one is solids of revolution. Solids of revolution. Polyhedron is what? A solid member consists of flat surfaces. Consists of flat surfaces. For example, prism. Okay. A pyramid. So now this consists of what? Flat surfaces, right? So solids of revolution is just like an sphere, cylinder. How the surface? Hang at the surface. Okay. It is curved. It is what? Curved surface. Okay. So now this is what polyhedron. So polyhedron is a solid bounded by only plane surfaces or flat surfaces. Okay. So you just observe tetrahedron is there, cube is there, so octahedron is there, some decahedron is there, dodecahedron is there. Okay. So now in this case all surfaces are flat. All surfaces are flat. Okay. So now these are the examples of polyhedron. Okay. These are the examples of polyhedron. So you just look out. First one is what? First one is triangular prism, square prism, pentagonal prism, hexagonal prism, rectangular prism, oblique prism. So you just observe the CG of top surface, CG of top surface and CG of bottom surface. If you join, then you are going to get axis of the prism. Axis of the prism. So next, the object which is going to be placed over the surface. Object is going to be placed on the surface. That surface of the solid will become base. It will become base. Next, the edges surrounded by base. The edges surrounded by base are going to be called as base edges. Are going to be called as base edges. So next you just observe it is what rectangular face. Now longer face and shorter face. Again it depends on what type of basic shape you have for that particular solid object. So now solids of revolution, cylinder. Solids of revolution, cylinder. So one more is sphere, one more is sphere, and one more example is cone. Okay, one more example is cone. So why they are going to call as solids of revolution? So if you observe the axis, let us take a cylinder. Okay, it is what axis. Okay, so what is the shape of a cylinder in front view? ಇವಾಗ ಇದನ್ನು ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಯಾವ ಶೇಪ್ ಬರ್ತದ? You are going to get a rectangle. Now just observe here. Is it right? Okay. Now if you draw an axis for cylinder, okay, so now with respect to this axis, so if some portion is going to be revolved, which is going to form a solid, so that type of solids are going to be called as solids of revolution. Okay? Similarly, you have a sphere and you have an cone. So now you just observe how the placement of solids are going to take place over the plane. ಕಾಣ್ತದ? ರೀಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದ? ಏನದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ನೇದು ಏನದ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಇದೆ ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಇದು? ಬೇಸ್ ಯಾವುದದ? ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಅದ, ಪೆಂಟಗಾನ್ ಅದ? ಪೆಂಟಗಾನ್ ಅದ, ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ it is resting on HP or VP? It is resting on HP. Okay, now you just observe 4 position how the prism can be rest on plane. First position ಏನದ observe ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. Now you just observe here, this is what prism. Okay, so base, this one is what? Base edge. Okay, now this is what? Top surface. Now this is what? Longer edge. So this entire surface is rectangular surface. Now with respect to the base edge, with respect to the rectangular face, so the solids are going to be placed over the HP. Now first case, you just observe first case. So what it is? A rectangular face is parallel to VP, or one of base edge parallel to VP. You just observe, this is what base edge is here. ಇದೇನು ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಅದ. ನೀವು ಇದು ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಿರಾಮಿಡ್, right, you can say it is base edge is parallel to VP. Now you just observe here second case. What is the second case? Rectangular face inclined to VP. Observe ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಏರೋ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲದ? a rectangular face perpendicular to VP. Okay. So now the surface which is consist of C1, B1 is now it is what? Perpendicular to VP. Now in this case surface A1, C1 is inclined at pi degree to VP. So just observe. So surface is inclined at, now this is a surface which consists of A1, C1 is inclined pi degree to vertical plane. So next one, a rectangular face equally inclined to VP. If you just observe the face A1, C1, B1, okay, these two surfaces are equally inclined to vertical plane. Okay, now this is what? Position of prism. Next you observe position of pyramid. Base edge parallel to VP, okay, as seen in previous case. Next, base edge perpendicular to VP, base edge inclined at pi degree to VP, base edge equally inclined to VP. Okay. So you just note down these two diagrams quickly, prism as well as pyramid. ಇವೆರಡು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳ್ರಿ.